A sustainable ceasefire is being backed by Lord Cameron, who also issues a warning about the losses. A sustainable ceasefire between Israel and Gaza is something the Foreign Secretary has expressed an interest in seeing happen. Too many civilians have been killed in Gaza, according to Lord Cameron's warning. As per the health ministry run by Hamas, over 18,000 individuals have lost their lives, with a significant number of children among them. He changes the tone of the UK government in an article for the Sunday Times, but he doesn't demand a ceasefire right away. Lord Cameron stated in an article he co-wrote with Germany's Foreign Minister, Annalena Baerbock, that he would back a ceasefire if it could be maintained. Over the long haul. An end to fighting cannot be our sole objective today, he emphasized. We need a lasting peace that will endure for generations, not just days. We therefore support a ceasefire, but only if it is sustainable. United Nations Resolution 153, calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, failed to gain support on Tuesday due to the abstention of the United Kingdom and Germany. We do not believe that calling right now for a general and immediate ceasefire, hoping it somehow becomes permanent, is the way forward, wrote Lord Cameron, who was attempting to explain the UK's decision. Is Hamas going to cease launching rockets? It would be difficult to establish the trust necessary for peace if the hostages were released during an unstable truce that swiftly descended into additional bloodshed. Germany and the United Kingdom, on the other hand, are demanding more humanitarian pauses in order to free more hostages and bring in more aid. The line that Rishi Sunak laid out at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday is reinforced by Lord Cameron's remarks. We have been consistent that what we support is a sustainable ceasefire, which means Hamas must stop launching rockets into Israel and release all the hostages, said Mr. Sunak, after Hamas attacked Israel on October 7, killing 1,200 people. The Israeli military launched an offensive into Gaza, leveling large swaths of land. Changing attitudes are indicated by the fact that the foreign ministers of Germany and the United Kingdom cautioned Israel that it should do more to discriminate sufficiently between terrorists and civilians in the article. In light of the United Nations warning of a humanitarian catastrophe owing to widespread shortages of basic supplies, they also emphasized the need for more aid to reach Gaza. Even Israel's most staunch ally, the United States, has voiced concern over the inaction of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government in reducing civilian casualties, adding to the mounting international pressure on the Jewish state. Military pressure is necessary both for the return of the hostages and for victory, Mr. Netanyahu said on Saturday, attempting to deflect that pressure. Nothing will happen unless the military steps in. During a press conference on Saturday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu emphasized the critical nature of the war in Gaza, stating that it must be waged until triumph is achieved. Remaining under Israeli security control, he declared, Gaza would be demilitarized. Netanyahu stated that Israel's military operation in Gaza was instrumental in securing a partial release of hostages in November, and he vowed to continue applying strong military pressure to Hamas. He is hell-bent on destroying the militant Palestinian organization that controls the heavily populated Strip. The instruction I am giving the negotiating team is predicated on this pressure, without which we have nothing, said the leader. On October 7, militants from Hamas launched an unexpected attack into Israel, killing 1,200 and taking 240 hostages. The health authorities in Gaza have reported that nearly 19,000 people have been killed in Israel's counteroffensive, with thousands more buried under the rubble. Humanitarian groups have declared a catastrophe in the 2.3 million people who have been displaced from their homes in Gaza due to the city's destruction, with many of them now surviving in makeshift shelters and tents without access to food or water. As talks centered on a possible Gaza truce and a prisoner and hostage deal, David Barnea, head of Israel's Mossad spy agency, met with Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, Prime Minister of Qatar, late on Friday, according to a source familiar with the matter. Following the breakdown of a 7-day ceasefire in late November, senior officials from Israel and Qatar, who have been mediating the situation, reportedly met for the first time in Europe.